Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm hitting all these boxes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have a ton of product. This is our product opening stream. Normally we do this during pre-release week. Last week, but we're doing it this week during release week because last week we did the co-op product, which was in and of itself sort of an unboxing. We opened it up, we played it. It was sweet. We had a good time. I really enjoyed the Turtles team up, so much so that my 7-year-old is asking me every day to bring it home, so I'm going to bring it home, play Turtles team up with him tonight, but that's not what you're here for because we're going to open up many of the other products. We can head to the overhead shot. We don't need to see me that much. We're going to take a look at, we got all this stuff. We're not going to open all of it. We don't have that much time. We have about an hour. We're going to spend a lot of time in collector boosters because that has the coolest stuff. We are going to open this pizza bundle because that's probably the most unique thing. We do also have draft night bundle, play boosters, extra collector boosters. We got a bunch of stuff. So we're going to just open it up and talk about it. Let's open this side up and this side up. This pizza bundle is unique to Turtles. I mean, we often do special bundles, but this one is quite a bit different. All right, you open it up, it'll share a slice with us. That's nice. It is shaped like a pizza. Not kidding, I've never opened up one of these before. So this is an experience for me as well. So we get some stuff here. We're gonna pull this out where we get promos. We'll open that up in a moment. We get this spin down here that is very pizzified. Pizza, turtle, planeswalker symbol. There we go. It's a spin down, so it's in order. Okay, we can move that. It's also, God, this feels like grade school, like I had to read some books to get this. All right, and then when you open this up, you get a bunch of play boosters and a collector booster. So there's the box. I'm gonna put that over here. All right. Yep, so this comes with some promos. And we're going to open this up, some lands. So we got a Waste Not and a Commander's Plate. So it's always going to come with 2 foils out of a list. There's a number of them. You can see the full list online. And then you get, of course, your Pizza Basics. So you're going to get 1 of each foil and then 5 of each non-foil. And so tips and tricks. So that's what's going to be in there. And then we'll set that over there. Dice. And of course, you've got all these play boosters and the collector booster. We're going to open up collector boosters in a moment and talk about that. Yeah, that packaging was so cool. Like I said, it made me feel like I finished doing my summer reading and I earned a free pizza box. But this one came with magic cards instead of pizza. All right. So comes with all these boosters in addition to all those lands. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to put that over here. And then we might as well, just for the comparison, so that was the pizza bundle. This is the regular bundle. So we can open this up as a comparison. So this bundle is going to be our kind of typical bundle. That we do essentially every set. It comes with it comes with this insert. Cool pieces of art. These boxes are great. If you haven't ever used one before, I love the art and the turtle van. Still sore at my brother for breaking our turtle van when we were kids. So this comes with an insert. It's got some +1/+1 punch outs, some other token punch outs. Cool Krang punch out here. Turtle van. All right, and then in here, so you're going to get a spin down. It's not a pizza spin down, but it's a pretty cool spin down. And this one's all glowy and green. And then here, you're going to get play boosters. So this is one of the differences between the pizza bundle and the normal bundle is there's no collector booster in the regular bundle. what you do get are these. Toss that over there. So here you're going to get rooftop basics, 5 of them, non-foil plus the normal basics. And over here, the rooftop basics are sweet. If the pizza basics are not your thing, the rooftop basics are pretty great. Then Shark Shredder Killer Clone is the bundled promo. So you'll get one of these, whereas the pizza bundle is 2 of from a selection of cards. This one is always going to be Shark Shredder Killer Clone. And then we get 5 foil rooftop basics as well as 2 of each foil of the normal basics. So that is the regular bundle. All right. Spin downs up there. Let's move these over here. All right, next up, we're going to talk about collector boosters. I probably also want to get into draft night, but collector boosters is kind of the main attraction for these streams, so we're going to get into that. Yeah, it is TMNT. I know. I find the set code is TMT, and I struggle with that. I've been saying and writing TMNT for my entire life, well before I even knew what Magic was. So, hard habit to break. But, all right, so collector boosters. We got a bunch of them. I'm going to put this up here. So we're going to talk through what's in each of the slots of collector boosters. For those who aren't familiar with collector boosters, there are a number of slots that contain certain lists of cards, certain types of cards. If you want an exact breakdown of the contents and the pack odds and that sort of thing, you're going to go to dailymtg.com, and there is an article called Collecting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can probably just Google Collecting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and, throw an MTG tag on the end of it, and it'll pop up. And Blake, since the pre-release went very unwell, will the company think about cutting the number of sets? Okay, couple things to unpack there. One, the internet's take on whether the pre-release went well is not reality. We still don't even have all the numbers in. Like, we collect all that data. Technically, pre-release events are still ongoing, so stores can be running pre-release events today. So all the numbers are not in, first of all. So let's not say it didn't go very well. I read all the internet chatter. I am chronically online, unfortunately, for my mental health. As for cutting the number of sets, we've already announced that next year there are going to be 6 sets. This year there were 7. It was a bit of a scheduling quirk. 6 is more where we're aiming to be. 2027 is going to have 6 releases, 3 Universes Beyond, 3 main set, 3 Magic multiverse sets. So just clearing up a few things there. Okay, this first slot is going to be 5 foil commons. All right, so Mutant Town, Utrum Scientist, Zog, Triceraton Castaway, Cowabunga, Tenderize. The next slot is going to be 3 foil uncommons. Skateboard it's so sneaky good for 1 mana. I had that in a draft over the weekend, and it was great. All right, Brilliance Unleashed. Okay, so something about these common and uncommon slots is that there are going to be some scene cards and booster fun cards occasionally in them. So this one is in this slot, but you can get those booster fun cards in there. So Last Ronin's Technique is one of the uncommons that has this treatment. Also, this art is great. With the 3 spirit turtles in the background. I love this. I read the Last Ronin maybe 6 months ago for the first time, so that was a cool one to see in there. You can also get there's a couple in the common slot, not a ton, but there are a few. All right. Next up, so this next slot is going to be a commander slot. It can be any number of cards from the commander deck. However, in this case, we got a Surge foil, which is awesome. Most of the time, it's not going to be search foil. Most of the time, it's going to be non-foil. But they're going to be cards from the commander deck. So we got an Ash Barrens there in that search foil, which is sweet. All right. Yes, these are collector boosters. All right, next up, you're going to get a foil land. We got a foil swamp there. Then you're going to get a foil rare or mythic rare from the main set. So it's going to be normal foiling. Kitsune Dragon's Daughter here. All right, so then the next slot is actually 2 cards. And this one's a bit of a wild card slot. This is where things get a little bit different. So this is where you're going to find some commander cards, but you will also find some non-commander cards in this slot. So here, for example, you get a Booster Fun Leonardo's Technique. These are most of the time going to be non-foil. However, you can get some of the commander cards in Surge Foil in this slot. So this 2 slot is it's a bit of a wild card. You're not going to get like normal rares there. But so this is a Booster Fun version of a card. This is a commander card, etc. So we'll show off more examples as we open packs. All right, then you are going to get a source material card. Here we have Teleportation Circle. This can be foil or non-foil. In this case, it's non-foil. And then the final slot, I always call the foil fancy slot. It can be so many different things. Here we get Krang and Shredder in Booster Fun. It is always going to be some kind of special treatment, and it's always going to be in foil. But beyond that, there's a variety of things. And then art cards. Okay. Why were the team-up exclusives not printed in the collector boosters? I'm not entirely certain on that. The team-up was a separate product, so my guess is that it was a separate work stream in a bit. I don't actually have the answer to that. Often the answer is very boring and something like, oh, well, the timing didn't line up. All right, when do the Secrets of Strixhaven story start? One sec, I can't answer that. I do have that answer. Secrets of Strixhaven story starts March 23rd. All right, going through this. We got some commons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a very good common, by the way. Raphael Tough Turtle. Had that over the weekend as well. Shredder's Technique is an uncommon. Dimensional Exile. And here, again, you can see this is a scene card showing up in the uncommon slot. Leonardo Leader in blue. All right, and then we get the non-foil Ash Barrens, and you can see that you can get both Surge Foil and non-foil in that slot. All right, so then we get Surge Foil Rooftop. So here you have a normal foil pizza. Here you have a Surge Foil Rooftop. I love Surge Foil. It's so good. Did we already see the Secrets of Strixhaven preview? We have already seen it. Transdimensional Bovine. This was in my pre-release sealed, and it was great. Strong blocker. Adds 2 mana. All right, so here again, we're in the potpourri section, the wildcard section. I don't know what I'm going to call it. It's just, but a lot of interesting stuff here. So here we've got a commander deck card. And then we get a scene card. So Michelangelo Weirdness 211. Really strong card. And then here you see source material. We've got a foil Rhythm of the Wild. Please may I ask when the Hobbit set news. Everybody's looking forward to other sets. Hobbit. We're going to start talking about Hobbit a little bit at MagicCon Vegas. Whenever you're wondering when we're going to talk about a set that's months in the future, the next MagicCon is usually a pretty good guess. All right, Action News Crew. This was so. I didn't get to do the after show for our debut, but I was the one who picked this card to put on it. This is just my favorite joke in the set. Channel 6. Yeah, for Channel 6 News. It's great. All right, so a bunch of commons. Southern Encrypted does a lot of work in the set. I hear the song in my head when I see Go Ninja Go, Saved by the Shell, and Ray Filet, Man Ray. That card was also good for me in my pre-release sealed. Thriving Grove as the commander non-foil card. Then we get a pizza foil. We have Michelangelo Improviser as the traditional foil rare mythic. Then we get a commander card, Roadkill Rodney, and Blasphemous Axe. So here we got 2 commander cards. So you can see it's going to vary. God, second time. I get emotional. I see second time around burning, and it's just, it takes me back. Raf's Jite here. And then, oh, this one's good. So this is Krang Uhtram Warlord in that Japanese 10 style. Yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces of booster fun, if not my favorite in the set. We're not going to get into the sales conversations. What I will say is we track a lot of metrics, and sales is one of them. For the question people are referring to that Mark Rosewater answered yesterday, the question was specifically about sales. He answered the question that was in front of him, and then he got yelled at for not answering the questions that weren't asked of him, as if it was being deceptive. It's not what he's doing. Here. Casey Jones, Jury Rig Justiciar. We look at a lot of metrics. There are a lot of things that go into whether we consider a set successful. And so far, we're pretty happy with Turtles in a lot of ways. Don and Raph Hard Science is great. This set's super fun, you guys. If you're not interested in it, that's totally cool. But it is fun to play. And this treatment here, the silhouette treatment, is maybe my favorite treatment in the set. Again, I'm biased. I'm a big Turtles fan. I have actual Turtles from my childhood lined up in my garage. But this is so cool. So this is a non-foil. And then we get into, I had this in my pre-release sealed as well. This card is also strong. And then we get Donatello Gadget Master from the scene. That's really cool. All right, let's keep going. Are you planning on watching TMT 2 Secrets of the Ooze in theaters this month for Fathom events? Already have my tickets. I'm taking my son and my brother-in-law. So yeah, we are going to see the Fathom events Turtles 2 re-release. Yeah, it's just discussing logistics for that yesterday. All right, commons. I'm not going to lie, I'm super excited to see Turtles 2 in theaters. So, fun story. Turtles 2 has some memories for me. When I was a kid, so it came out when I was about 8 or 9. And at the time, I was in karate classes. And, so this is a search foil. My instructor's name is Carl, and for some reason, he had some connection at the local morning show. I lived in Minnesota at the time. That was called Between Friends. It's not on the air or anything, but think like local Good Morning America style morning show. He had some connection with him, and I remember a producer walking into our studio one day, and then Carl, our instructor, sat us all down and was like, so, we're going to set you all up to go see an early screening of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Yay. To do that, to get your tickets, all you have to do is we're going to do a demonstration on this morning show called Between Friends, again, I think. So I and some other kids in the class go on and we do our forms. We do our basic form and our slightly more advanced form. Now, for some reason on this, and this was, and like they set it to the Ninja Turtles rap, I think was the music behind us. And as we're doing this, one of the other guests on the show was Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried, if you don't know, he was like the voice of Iago in Aladdin. Really famous voice. So anyway, I'm on this morning show. I'm doing like, that was literally the form. It was very basic. But they do this at the very end of the show. And so they had us do it once and then twice. And then they had everybody in the class do it once. And then they had the beginner students go away. Then we did a more advanced form. And then they brought the beginner students back for the credits that were rolling. And as they're doing the credits, Gilbert Gottfried comes out and like is running around in the background saying all this stuff about ninjas and karate in that distinct voice of his while I'm there doing, karate. My parents still have a video of this, I think. I saw it a few years ago. I think they might have transferred it to a DVD. Oh, we might get this full scene. We got Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello so far. But anyway, so I was on this morning show doing karate with Gilbert Gottfried running around in the background doing Gilbert Gottfried things. And because of that, I got to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 early. And I remember the theater was packed. They had 3 different screenings, and they were all packed. And the movie starts, and then it cuts out. And the whole theater just because it was a lot of kids, just goes nuts. This is a cool brainstorm. And it took them I don't know what was wrong with the projector, but it took them a good half an hour to get it set up. So there were a bunch of kids with candy waiting for Ninja Turtles 2 that no one else had seen. No spoilers, no nothing. Yeah, anyway, that's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secrets of the Ooze memory. And then I wore out that DVD. I still have it I wore out that VHS. I still have it on DVD. All right, so yeah, you could say I'm a Turtles fan. All right, speaking of which, High Flying Ace, I'm only mentioning this because this is a non-legendary version of Ace Duck, which was one of my favorite toys as a kid. Loved Ace Duck. He was my pilot before Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. My cartoon pilot. Donatello's technique. Here we get Shredder's technique in that Booster Fun sewer frame. Here we got an arcade signet. We get, again, I love these Surge foil lands. More Michelangelo weirdness to 11. Not mad. Card's great. All right, so we get some Smoldering Marsh from the Commander list. Okay, and here, cool, we got our first one of these. So we've got it's from the Commander deck, but this is one of the Pixel Arts. This is Ninja Pizza. Card that has gotten some attention for Canadian Highlander. There's one of my mentions for this one. But that foiling is really cool. You can see how the steam from the pizza box is foiled. Yeah, Pixar. This is great. Yeah. Okay. Metallic Mimic. And then, Krang Mastermind. This is one I like drawing cards. I like casting artifacts. This is one of the cards I'm excited to brew with. And that's a cool version of it. All right, let's keep going. What time is it? 10:25. Has card quantity been confirmed for Marvel? We need another big UV set. The Marvel Superhero set is a full-sized set. It has tons of cards. It is a full-size Universes Beyond set it's full size. I think that's clear enough. There's no, we have announced that. Yeah, and when we did the, we called it a prologue back in December, which is a mistake. It was basically a first look. Search foil Path of Ancestry. That's sweet. You can see, we showed off a number of cards, so you can see the set number, the collector numbers on the bottom, and do any of the math. But it is a full-size set. Are there any more small sets coming out this year? We have not confirmed set sizes for a lot of things, but it is safe to say that the Hobbit is going to be a smaller set. It's not small, but it is smaller. Part of that is the Hobbit's a smaller book. Double jump, flying kick. The Hobbit is such a cool set too. Don and Leo problem solvers. Underworld Breach, that's a problem that needs solving. This card was also ridiculous in my sealed deck, by the way. You get to exile an artifact and a creature. There's an artifact that equips to a creature. I forget what it's called. And then that creature fights another creature. So I got this set up with that, and I can blink creatures, and they can fight multiple times. It's great. Underworld Breach and Mutagen Man Living Ooze in the extended frame. And then, this is cool, art card, but it's the pixel art. Sweet. At our very limited pre-release, we did not see Michelangelo getting played. The Weirdness to 11 one. My pre-release sealed deck was a blue-green mutagen +1/+1 counters deck. I did not have that Michelangelo. I had the one that can put a creature in the Improviser. I had the Improviser. I did not get Weirdness to 11. Had I gotten Weirdness to 11, it would have been amazing in that deck. All right, Crustacean Commando, Foot Elite, Manhole Missile, Bebop, Omni Cheese Pizza. I had 2 Genghis Frog in that deck, which helped make a ton of mutagen. So that's your Signpost uncommon for that. The Neutrinos, white-red. Then we've got Shredder, Unrelenting, the Scene version. Thriving Isle. Then we got a foil pizza. Then we got the Last Ronin. This one's so flavorful. Destroy all creatures, mill 4 cards. We need to do is turn target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, like the Last Ronin does, put 3 +1/+1 counters on all like his brothers. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Love that card. All right, Slash Clone from the Steelbane Hydra. Slash was so cool. Splinter's Technique. Sneak Demonic Tutor. Arcbound Ravager. This art's great for Arcbound Ravager. And then Slash Reptile Rampager. That card is scary from the Scene version. Let's keep going. Yeah, I would imagine if someone played Last Ronin at pre-release, it would not go well. All right. Continuing on, we got Null Group, EPF Point Squad, Tunnel Rats, Oroku Saki, Shredder Rising, and Donatello Turtle Techie. April, Reporter of the Weird. Totally okay, fine card, but when you start putting +1/+1 counters on it, yeah. Michelangelo Mutant BFF, I also had this in my sealed deck, and Yeah, agree. This card is very strong. Jenica's Technique. All right, Cultivate from the Commander deck. Plains, Turtles Forever. I love this piece of art. Fast Forward from the Commander deck, and then Extended Ancient Bishop, Man in Black. Ooh, now we get a foil Underworld Breach. Love that. And Don and Leo Problem Solvers. Again, card is great in Blink Strategies. All right. Let's keep going. Leonardo Big Brother and Leonardo Cutting Edge. Yeah, there was have a friend who we got together and played Commander on Sunday, and then he went and bought a bunch of collector boosters and wanted to get to know the set. And so we ended up drafting a collector booster box, doing a pick 2 draft, and it was wild. But the point of that was there was definitely I definitely drafted a deck with just a bunch of Leonardos in it. And I went 2-0 in the time we had. Quintessential Katana, don't sleep on this card. Card's very good. Dreg, Insect Invader. Marauding Mutagen, also known as Acidic Slime, but like even more acidic. All right, Surge Foil. Will there be a Command Fest this year? We are looking to announce those sometime soon. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but it is in the works. Mike and Don, Party Planners. Do you know if Michelangelo Mutant BFF is a reference to the IDW run where BFF stands for Best Food Friend? I actually do not know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that. Rocksteady, Mutant Marauder, Triceraton Commander, another Metallic Mimic, and some of the best art in the set. We got the Japanese 10 version of Casey Jones, Vigilante. Yeah, this and the Krang are probably my 2 favorite pieces of art from the Japanese run. How many fingers are on the Underworld Breach art? 3 and a thumb. Now, all of these are original art, so they are pulled from the comic books. All right, Mutant Town, Utram, Cowabunga, Zog, Michelangelo Game Master. I had 2 of those. Here's that novel Nunchaku, the equipment I was talking about that fights. That card's great. It's an uncommon. I had 2 of them. I think I might have had 3 of them. Fugitive Droid. Oh, did we do it? Shoot, we might have done it. Hold on. We did it in 1 collector box. Now it helps that they are uncommons. 3 of them are anyway. Set that to the side. And nope. Oh, that's the wrong. No, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We don't have. That's the wrong. I was thinking of the wrong Donatello scene card. Okay. Oh, so close. We got so close. But no, we didn't get the Donatello. He goes over here. Yeah, 1 Donatello short, I think. Right? Unless I'm thinking of a different Donatello. No, I think I was thinking of that rare Donatello. So close. All right. Mutagen Man Acidic Slime. So again, here you can see you can get it in non-foil. You can get it in Search Foil. Swamp. Splinter's Technique. Continue. A lot of conversation about this one. Weathermaker and that extended. Silverclad Ferocidons. I also love this art. And then Krang and Shredder. Again, this is a scene version. Super cool. All right. So that was one collector booster box. We're going to set these cards to the side. We may come back to some collector boosters. But first, I want to take a look at Draft Night. So... yeah, what do I do hand them out around the office. I keep some, hand some out around the office. It's a good time for everyone. All right, so I want to talk about Draft Night. Draft Night is a perfect in-the-box experience for just you and 3 friends to hang out and draft. We really did make this to be like an experience in a box. You're just hanging out with some friends. And someone's like, hey, I'll get the pizza. Someone's like, I'll host. Another person's like, I'll get the draft. Here it is. Or split it. I don't know how you and your friends work. So, you got Draft Night. You open it up. It does have some quick rules for Pick 2 drafting. So, Draft Night is meant for people to do Pick 2 drafting. Obviously, do what you want with it. But... that's what it's built for. Comes with a collector booster, which you can use for whatever purposes. Maybe the person who brings this for Draft Night gets to keep it. Maybe the winner gets to keep it. I don't know, you do you. So it's going to come with what you need to get the draft started. So you've got enough packs for 3 people to do Pick 2. And you got basic lands. I cannot tell you how many times I have walked into a draft, excited to draft, and we draft, and then we're like, okay, who has basic lands? And the answer is nobody, and then we start turning cards over and writing on things, and it's much better when you have them all. So, obviously, this comes with enough basic lands for the draft. You're covered. So, doing this, and yeah. So that's... Pick 2 draft, again, is you take 2 cards and pass each time. So you're going to get a little more immediate synergy. And then you're going to build your decks normal like a draft. But otherwise, yeah, that is what comes in Draft Night. Have not drafted this set properly, but I do. It is. Yeah, today's Tuesday. It's out today on Magic Gathering Arena. Sometimes we do play streams for day of, but we did this week. Okay, let's see. We're not getting updates on Command Fest lineups today. It is in the pipeline. All right, we've got 22 minutes left. Do people want to chat? Do you want to do play boosters and we talk about draft picks? Or do we want to go back to collector boosters to see shiny things? Let's see. Yeah, what do I do with these cards? I give them out around the office. I keep some for myself. Let's open a few play boosters. I think that's correct and reasonable. Let's do draft picks. Yeah, so my experience with this format so far is I did the pre-release sealed, and then we did the collector booster draft. So I'm a bit of a novice at the draft, but I do have a pretty good sense of cards that are good, cards that do sweet things. So we're going to look at this from a pick 2 perspective, just since we took it out of Draft Night. but I'll also talk about what I'd pick in a normal 8-player draft. All right, food token. All right, so you immediately go to the rares. We got 2 rares, so that's cool. So we got Dawn and Raph Hard Science. In limited, they're okay. Giving your next spell affinity for artifacts. The blue-red archetype is artifact focused. So this is not a card purely for other formats. You can absolutely take advantage of this. Being a 2/4 with Menace is good with Sneak. Makes it easier to get through. I don't know that you necessarily want to sneak this. It is worth noting that when you attack, you get the trigger. So you can sneak this back to your hand, say, for a Jenica's Technique, and still get the ability. Although, if you sneak it for a Jenica's Technique is the next non-creature. So don't do that. But, you can. At any rate. So, we've also got Madame Null Power Broker over here. Whenever another creature you control enters, you may pay life equal to its power. If you do put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Pretty cool. Very good with Sneak, where you can have a bunch of damage come out of nowhere. 1/3 Death Touch for 3 is fine as a base case. Beyond those two, I'm looking at, so Michelangelo Game Changer was really good. In the counters deck, it just generally gets bigger. It's a 3/3 for 3. Tenderize is a punch spell. Utrum Scientist would be good if maybe we were a little further along and we're definitely in artifacts. That's kind of your core sort of artifact common. Hard One Jite. So when I was doing the collector booster draft, I got Hard One Jite and Umezawa's Jite on the same creature. I did win that game. I think in this case, is there any set that I don't like? Yeah, there are plenty of sets that I don't like. I lived through Homelands, man. I've been playing Magic a very long time. I have my tier list, I'm sure, if I thought about it. Okay, but back to this draft. I'm going to, Madame Null Power Broker is, if it's a pick 2 draft, gosh, I almost want to go Tenderize and Madame Null. So we got a removal spell and a semi-bomb here. It is 2 color, pick 2 draft. I like to be in one color if possible. There are some card combinations here that, like Michelangelo Game Master plus Tenderize is pretty strong. Tunnel Rats is fine, but like Madame Null and Putrid Pals can be pretty strong. Omni Cheese Pizza, Dawn and Raph Hard Science if you want to angle for an artifact deck. But I think I would take... The one thing I don't know is how good Jenica's Technique is in draft. Like, a Pyroclasm in some formats is backbreaking. In others, it maybe kills one creature. I think it's reasonable to start out with it, but I also think Tenderize, I know what it's going to do. So I would do Madame Null and Tenderize. If this were a pick 1 draft, I'd probably pick Madame Null. Flitcher and Null, sure. Little sneak action. The black-white Ninjas deck is really fun and really cool. So the filter is a definitely defensible pick if you know what you want to do. The filter does not benefit from Madame Null. Still has 0 power. All right. Next pack, we got some more Tunnel Rats, another Tenderize, Omni Cheese Pizza, Grounded for Life, Return to the Sewers, Ice Cream Kitty. This card is very strong. EPF, Point Squad, Dream Beavers, sneaky strong. Saved by the Shell, New Generations Technique. Ooh, and then we got a Leonardo Sewer Samurai, a Cool But Rude, and a Rock Soldiers, and a Foot Headquarters. it's really hard to get away from Leonardo's Sewer Samurai. It's a 3/3 double striker with sneak, obviously that in itself, but the ability to cast a creature with power toughness 1 from your graveyard is going to have a lot of applications, including applications with Cool But Rude, where you could attack with Leonardo, discard a creature with power toughness 1 or less, and then you can cast it again. Cool But Rude is pretty strong. Leonardo's very strong. I think I have to go for those two. It's rare drafting, but you know what? But out of this, I will call out Ice Cream Kitty is very strong. Sacrificing another creature is a hefty, but a token, there's a lot of mutagen tokens in this, especially if you're in green. Having a 1/3 for 2 is a decent blocker. You have to be more conscious of blocking because of all the sneak in this set. But yeah, turning your mutagen into cards is pretty strong, or your food tokens is pretty strong. But yeah, Leonardo's Sewer Samurai and Cool But Rude. Get a nice little white-red. White-red is go wide. Uses Alliance. Yeah, Ice Cream Kitty surprised me. I mean, it shouldn't. It says draw a card. Ice Cream Kitty. But Mutant Chain Reaction, I think, is also main deckable. So this is your, we have a lot of versions of this, Crash Landing, stuff like that. Destroy an artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. There's not, flying is not a huge part of this set. I say as I flip up a creature that can gain flying. But it's there. And you definitely don't want to lose to big flyers. And the fact that it gives you a mutagen token is just really strong. Okay. Here, a few cards stand out to me. Spicy Oatmeal Pizza is it's pretty close to Char, which is a very strong spell in Limited. The fact that you can regain the life is strong. Apparently, there was a big discussion about this card in R&D because a red card that gains life is not a typical thing. And so there's a lot of discussion about it, but ultimately, obviously, they printed it like this. Interesting card. So you could, there's a lot of good red cards in here. So Manhole Missile, very strong. Instant speed, deal 3 damage to a creature. Spicy Oatmeal Pizza. Artifact synergies, deal 4 damage to anything. Card's great. Casey Jones, Vigilante. I had this one in that Collector Booster draft. It was really hard to use. And so that one I'm a little bit iffy on. Wingnut is really good in go-wide strategies like Wingnut and Leonardo in the same deck. Those cards are really good. But again, if I'm taking a red card, I'm probably taking Spicy Oatmeal Pizza and Manhole Cover first. Casey Jones is hard to use. These are pretty consistent. So I would probably take these two. All right, we got about 12 minutes left. I'm going to do another Play Booster draft. We'll finish up with that Collector Booster from the Play Booster, from the Draft Night box. But yeah, the experience we had on Sunday is there were 4 of us. We wanted to draft. We used Collector Boosters. It was cool. But we could have used Draft Night instead. And it would have been a more tailored experience. We had a blast, though. So no complaints. All right. Here, so Agent Bishop, Man in Black, is very strong and gets going really easily. +1/+1 counters up to 2 target creatures, including itself. So even if you have no other creatures out, it starts pumping itself. Karai's Technique is super strong as well. And probably the other thing, Koya Death from Above is very good, but probably a step down from these two. you know, I don't see anything strong enough for. There is a lot of like white and black on the upper end of this pack. I don't see anything strong enough to make me go like Tenderize is good. Everything Pizza's fine. Nobody's okay. Manhole Missile is very good. But I think I go for Agent Bishop and Karai's Technique. Hard to pass up Agent Bishop. All right. During the Spider-Man set, nobody wanted to draft Spider-Man. And people drafted another set. I think it was Duskmorn. Well, Edge of Eternities, it just came out, so people were drafting something else. It was probably Edge of Eternities. Do you think people will draft another set again? I think people will draft whatever they want or their stores have available. And you know what? All power to them. I think this set is really fun. Like, I get if people are resistant. Like I said, I live on the internet, much to my detriment, so I see it all. I read all the feedback, and people feel how they feel. But this set is really fun. I had so much fun playing with it over the weekend. And I'm going to play with my son tonight. We're going to play the Turtle Team Up. So I think people will play what they enjoy playing. So hopefully they enjoy this. If they want to play something else, great. We just want people to get together and have fun. Slash Reptile Rampager is ginormous and huge and kills you fast. There's not a ton that goes with it immediately. Leonardo Leader in blue, like I could go red, white, go wide. It's weird to say that about a 5-drop, but it does create tokens. It does have an alliance ability. It would definitely be your top end. Let's see, what else in here? I mean, Death in the Family is the best removal spell, hands down. So you could go a little slimmer and go Death in the Family, Urukusaki. Shredder Rising, that's a good sneak card, great removal. It keeps you in one color. If you went Orokusaki and Death in the Family, I could get behind that pick. I wonder if it's Death in the Family Slash, though. It could be Death in the Family and Slash. Like, those are kind of in a vacuum the two most powerful cards in this pack, followed by probably Orokusaki and Genghis Frog. So yeah, I could see doing that. Yeah, this set is super fun. Like, you know, if you're bouncing off the themes or universes beyond or any of that, like, hey, I get it. You should play what you enjoy. But if you're just into fun limited gameplay, this set has that. And especially if you're a Turtles fan. Like, I remember winning a game where I had Leonardo and Donatello teaming up to do something cool, and it felt like my childhood. We're opening a collector booster for the last pack, and then we're going to be done for today. And it just felt like my childhood. Now, if you don't have an affinity for Turtles, like, the gameplay is still fun. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's see. We got Ravenous Robots. You know, I did see that during early access, blue-red artifacts was one of the more successful archetypes, and I think this card's a big part of that. Exotic Orchard came over in the Surge foil. So again, this is just calling out these commander cards. Can appear in Surge foil. I think Game Over is going to be a commander staple for a bit. It can be a 3-mana. I could even see it showing up in Standard. You know, I play a lot of black-blue right now, and I am playing the Collect Evidence Wrath, but sometimes it shows up a little too late. Kind of depends on the format. Southwind Avatar. All right. Okay. that is going to be this show. We can pop back up to my face, I guess. That is it for this week. Next week, we are going to be back playing some Arena. And the week after that, we're going to take off before we start heading into some bigger, more interesting, serious topics. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pre-releases may still be going on at your local game store. Most of them happen over the weekend, but some of them can spill into this week a little bit, depending on scheduling. Check with your local game store. But if not, it releases globally, everywhere, whether it's your local game store or anywhere else. This Friday, I encourage you to check it out. I encourage you to pick up a draft night or collector booster, or the pizza bundle was super cool. So if you already pre-ordered something, it should be arriving this weekend, hopefully. But so that's super fun from one Turtles fan to a bunch of Banshee fans. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.